fish sandwich. So I want to take you to the Mon Valley, to Rankin, to an old steelworkers bar called Emil's Lounge.
In Rankin here, there aren't many businesses left if you go throughout the town.
I never even knew it was here until I came to work. And I live up the street. It's like a little hidden secret. And now we tell everybody because it's great. It's a nice little hidden secret.
And you can get all the fancy restaurants you want. If you want food, you come here.
But this place is able to continue to be here because of the quality of food that they present and because of the way they treat people.
This place is named for the late Emil Luzajic, who died in 2009. His daughter, Chrissy Coaches, runs the place now.
And we have a history of being known for our fish sandwiches, #1. We're also known for our Reubens and our burgers.
Everyone knows about Emil. Stuffed cabbage is good.
And our steaks. And we just have good home-cooked food.
The food tells the history of the old Still Valley. You know, I can't really say pretty much how I like the food, but I love the food. It's not my culture. It's something different. It's excellent food. But the food tells the story of this culture, this region of the old Still Mill, you know?
Matter of fact, when I worked in the mill, I was a supervisor down there. On Fridays, these guys wanted to get fish sandwiches. I'd say call Emil's, you know?
I got the world famous fish sandwich because it's I mean, look at it, it's huge. It's 3 cod fillets, and the breading is just very, very, very tasty.
You know, the good hunky American food. That's the only way I can describe it. Hunky American food.
The fish sandwich, you're never going to be able to finish it.
That's hunky food.
What's that?
Schmolowski?
My favorite thing is when people call stuffed cabbage hunky hand grenades. I think it's so funny. I don't know why.
Well, here I have one of our Reubens. And as you can see, it's a good-sized sandwich, and it's made with love and great bread.
I've even taken my boss here one time, and he absolutely loved it.
My husband actually brought me here. He would come here, he would sneak here for lunch.
The first time I was at Emil's was in 1980 when I was at Carnegie Mellon.
I've eaten the open-faced steak where you can't see the bread. It just looks like a steak big on the plate. I've eaten that, numerous times.
And we came back about 3 days later, and I asked Chrissy out for dinner, and we went out on a date, and that's how I ended up at Emil's.
And we have our cook in the kitchen, Tony, who's been here for, let's see, I'm 46, and he's been here when I was 3 years old.
Tony's #1. Homemade, handmade. He does it himself. He wants it, everything has to look beautiful. It always has to, because sometimes when we come through the door, the parsley blows off. And he's like, no, and you got to go back and get over these parsley and come back up. It has to be correct. And he takes it very personally. He makes very good food.
But the spirit of Emil Luzajic remains, not just in the unusual name of the place.
You know what? My dad was Serbian, and that's a big Serbian name. And everybody who comes in here that hasn't been here for a while mentions my dad and tells me the story about how they met my dad. And, the first time that they came in here and what their reaction was and how good the food was. And, and they, just keep coming back.
When the steel mills were open, this place was packed. Emil always used to sit up top there.
Right over here, the first seat. That was my dad's chair.
Emil would sit in his chair over there. And that was his office, too. That wasn't just his chair. He conducted business from there.
I came down to be interviewed to work, and I sat next to Emil here because that was his seat, and I had a cheeseburger and fries. It was my first time here.
Deliveries would come in. They'd come over with the slip. The truck would unload. They'd come over with the slip. Emil would examine the slip. Then he'd reach into his pocket and pay the bill.
And he was eating a rack of lamb, so he cut the lamb, and he said, here, have this. And I ate, and he said, you're in. And I was in ever since, and that was 8 years ago.
And any customer that you could ask that has ever been to this restaurant will tell you, when you came in or on your way out, my dad would say, you want a shot? That was his line. You want a shot?
And then we did shots, of course, because that was his thing. But, yep, that's how I first met Emil.
If you walked in his restaurant and he didn't know you, he would come up and introduce himself, or he would tell you to come over here, sit down, have a shot, and then you would be a customer forever. That's what worked.
What are you going to have?
And now Chrissy and Billy and everybody keeps the same quality and keeps everything going the same way Emil kept it.
You know what? There's just so much history here with my family. There's so much history, and I'm hoping, something changes in the area. Like, they have all that land down by Carey Furnace and all that, and they're talking about redeveloping that. And I'm hoping that, I'm hopeful that something comes of that. Because right now I have the business to sustain me, but, as time goes on, you never know. It's, this business, it's day to day.
I don't like chain restaurants. I like to go when we're traveling or anything. I always want to go to try to find the Emil that's somewhere else.
It's just a local community. Everybody knows each other, and if you don't, you will before you leave. Because I didn't know anybody when I came, and I have a million friends here.
Emil's dream was to keep Emil here, and Chrissy's made a great effort to keep it here and for the next generation, her son.
When you have a place this long, and you have repeat people coming in there, it's the reason why it's still here. It's a special place. It really is.
No question. And every year on the second Sunday of October, Emil's is part of a local celebration. The feast day of St. Simeone, the patron saint of a small Italian village where many families in Swissvale and Rankin have their old world roots. After Mass at Madonna del Castello Church, the Del Monte Band provides some lively music for a grand procession.
It's so beautiful. Like, they have a big statue, and everybody's so together. They march all through the neighborhood.
On their way to the Croatian club in Rankin, the whole parade stops at Emil's to make a toast and to have a good time.
Then we'd all come in